Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Master Cloud, your broadcaster, and I am back to bring you another game of The Lord of the Rings, The Rise of the Witch King. It is, of course, the expansion to the Battle for Middle-earth 2. Today's map is going to be Buckland. It is a 2 versus 2 map, and spawning in the upper left-hand side is going to be Gimmesome. He is going to be spawning as Mordor. Now, his ally, I would assume, up in the upper right, is going to be Flash's Kha60, spawning as the elves, and immediately going to be shooting at some of those, the crows there, as he will begin to scout his opponent early on. Now, their opponents across the way is going to be Pieces 1, down in the bottom right-hand side, and his ally is going to be Oasis. So we do have an Angmar and Isengard, of course, versus a Elves and Mordor. Now, Flash here, or excuse me, Kha here, is going to be going for, looks like he is going to be deciding to go with the early Elven Barracks. That is, of course, pretty standard play, not going to be rushing those Horsemen. Mordor at the same time going for standard play as well, Orc Pit. Now, Gimmesome, we do know him from a previous game. He did have a game versus, I believe it was Lurker. I don't actually remember what happened in that game, but I do know he has been on my channel in the past, so let's go ahead and root for him. At least I'm going to be secretly. I guess not so secretly anymore. But as you can see, the reason that they're scouting, this is going to be a random spawn game, so they don't know exactly what their opponents spawned as, and that is why they are going ahead and using those early spells to figure that out. Now, Angmar going for a little bit of a standard open here as well. I guess it's not a little bit of a standard opening. It is a standard opening. And going with that, Hall of the King's Men. Isengard at the same time, going with the Orc Pit. And what is he going to go for first? It's actually going to be the Orc guy here. A good choice. I generally like to go with the Orc Crossbowman to start off with, but that's just a personal preference of mine. He might be wanting to put on a little bit of extra pressure with these Uruk guy. So we will go ahead and see how he decides to use those. Now, of course, let's go over the map just real quick. You do have, of course, these very important watchtowers, one to the bottom left and one to the top right. The elves have control of this one right now, and currently I believe this is going to be Oasis's unit. His builder is in there as well. Now, this center outpost here, very important, as it does provide an incredible amount of income. I believe it is 60 income per cycle, and of course that's almost the equivalent of like 2 or 3 mines, I believe. So very important to go ahead and grab that if possible. But Angmar summoning a couple of Wolf Riders here, going to be able to deal a lot of damage to that first group of Orcs here that are out, the Orc Warriors, as they try to take this down before it's captured. Looks like Isengard did capture there for a second. I don't know if he actually got any money out from it, though. And this battle is going to continue here. Now, I am going to be trying to bring you guys some more casts here a little bit more often. So please stay tuned to my channel. I will be attempting to bring a lot more. Here comes the Crossbowman in now, providing long-range support. Just look at that range. The crossbow range in this game is ridiculous. And they're going to be able to take out all of these, well, not all of the elves, but, well, maybe all of the elves, actually, as they provide a ton of support. Now, extra archers coming in from the elves, he should actually put these in the tower, withdraw the builder, put in the archers, but he's actually going to choose not to do that at the moment, probably for fear of losing his builder as soon as he pulls them out of there, and instead he's going to have to fall back with those. I am in the process of moving, guys, but despite that, despite packing and all the other stuff I'm going to have to be going through, I am going to be trying to get you guys out a couple more games here in the near future, this one included. Today is actually the 16th. Just got finished watching some StarCraft IEM finals. Pretty boring, but we won't talk about that now. We are, of course, playing Lord of the Rings, not StarCraft. So it looks like Oasis here, or I'm sorry, Oasis here going to be losing a lot of his troops here to Mordor. I see a little bit of lag in the game. I think that's coming from when the players must have played it, because it's not, I can feel it when it's my computer, and it's not my computer at this time, so I guess that's just sort of saved in the replay there. But anyways, the elves doing okay on the right-hand side. Looks like they've lost a couple more units, so they're going to have to fall back. He has enough here to defend here temporarily. Let's check how many Malentries he does have up. Looks like he's got 1, 2, 3. That's not really going to be enough. Does he have an additional one to the left side? I don't think so. So the elves here are in a little bit of trouble. Of course, his ally Gimmesome is doing work against Angmar right now, though it looks like he's running a ton of orcs to the bottom right-hand side. Going to be losing a lot of those archers. But is drawing sort of the gaze of Angmar here down to the left-hand side, and is going to be deciding to go ahead and engage them when he doesn't find a watermill over there. or just a mill. I like to call them watermills. I guess they're not really watermills, though. It is, in fact, just a mill. Meanwhile, it looks like Isengard going for a huge counterattack while Mordor is distracted here. Gimmesome has to be aware of this. He is pulling back some of his troops now. Does have a group of archers, and it looks like the elves going to be coming over here as well to go ahead and help him out. As, of course, Isengard is more his responsibility as they are cross-spawn from each other. Kha60 here with those elves. Looks like he has one of each unit, very diversified, but there's just so many orcs on the field right now. Gimmesome is just absolutely spamming those, and actually he's gone for the fortress upgrade here to go ahead and give a boost to some of his nearby units here, as they do gain that leadership bonus, and that should make them quite effective against this Isengard army. It looks like Angmar pushing in from the bottom, though, while the Eye of Mordor was distracted to the north. In sneaks Oasis from the south with a ton of Thrall Masters. The elves finally come in with a group of horsemen, but there's just way too many units here for them to do any sort of sufficient damage, as he's going to lose almost all of these. He did buy just enough time for the elves to go ahead and return from the front. He only lost one building, has yet to even take damage on either of his barracks, and he has cleaned up what happened in the back. It looks like he lost maybe one or two farms in the back there, but not a critical loss. Definitely a setback, but at the same time did get a couple of nice kills for his troubles. And the elves going to be able to clean this up in the front with a couple shots there from the Mordor archers. And finally, Isengard troops are stifled, as it looks like the attack has been held off. Isengard continuing to attack on the upper right-hand side, just constant action. The archers are right in the fray of things. That's definitely not where you want them. You want them in the back, sort of shooting, protected with the swordsman in front. But he's going to lose all of his archers and then pull his swordsman back. So a little bit of a mix-up there by Kha, but it looks like he does have horsemen on the field. That's not going to be very useful right now with all these pikemen out, though. He needs to actually send these possibly to deal with some Angmar units instead. Additional Angmar units and additional Isengard units now moving up from the south, though. It looks like they are going to begin to pressure Kha here. He has so few units, so few buildings. I think he has two, or did he lose that Malin tree in the center? Yes, he did. So he basically has two Malin trees for income, and he's about to lose another one right now. He doesn't have enough units. He's made an extra builder. He must have lost one earlier. Does he still have the one in the tower? Definitely would have thought that he should go or use the one in the tower rather than building a new one, as a new builder is extremely expensive. And it looks like Kha here going to be in a ton of trouble. Meanwhile, though, his ally, Gimmesome, going to be moving down to the south with a ton of orcs. Angmar looking to be in a little bit of trouble here. There are some elves helping out as well. The remaining of Kha's force is down here trying to pressure our Angmar player. Angmar looking to be in a little bit of trouble, but these orcs should get a pretty good surround on one of these barracks and should be able to start taking that down. Will he actually? The Thrallmaster is about to spawn. Let's see if he can go ahead and kill the Thrallmaster immediately. I want to see if the Thrallmaster can go ahead and get a summon off. Looks like he will use the Whirlwind there to protect the Thrallmaster as he comes out shivering, scared, because he is, of course, in that Eye of Sauron. But on the upper right-hand side of the map, the elves going to be losing another one of their buildings, possibly their builder too. I don't know if he got away from that. Something tells me the answer is no. Although actually he does have one up here, trying to desperately rebuild a Malin tree to keep his income going. It looks like, I think there's enough Mordor units here to actually clean this up. Meanwhile, on the bottom right-hand side of the map, Isengard showing up to help his ally as well. But the orcs able to do a decent amount of damage to this building, about 75% destroyed, but not quite. Didn't quite get it there. It would have been really nice to actually take that out, as it would have hampered the production of Angmar for a slight period of time. But with these crossbowmen in the back now up to level 2, all of these units are going to be quickly cleaned up, and there went most, if not the entire army of Kha60. It is Kha60, right? Or was it Kha06? No, it is Kha60. Yeah, I'm right. And so we will go ahead and continue, or Isengard will continue to run here, as he has basically completed his mission at destroying almost everything for the elves. And it looks like he's going to fall back, maybe take out a couple more of the elvish troops here, but Mordor archers now showing up as well. There's a huge push on the left-hand side. I don't think Mordor sees it. He's pulling all of his troops to the right. Now he realizes it and is pulling it back. Gimmesome in a lot of trouble here, as a ton of units are charging his base here. I think he has enough units to hold this off, but now without taking some decent losses, I think he's going to lose both of these income structures, as he would love to keep both of these alive, but there's just not a chance. as there's just way too much damage output here. And Isengard begins to work on one of the Orc Pits. He is going for the great siege work. I really like this. I think catapults right now would be an excellent build. Of course, it might be a little, maybe not the best time, as of course he is dealing with a huge army at his front door. And of course he's going to have to upgrade before he can get those catapults. Of course, catapults are pretty cheap unit once you do have them able to get out. And it looks like the fortress here, adding on a expansion here, he might actually lose the siege work if he's not careful. Needs to divert some orcs to that. On the right side, it looks like this group of Eggman warriors is going to be winning. Is he going to lose the siege work? That's what I really want to know. I think the answer is no, with the fortress shooting, as well as all of the ranged units here, the archers. He's going to be actually able to clean up that pretty sufficiently without taking too much losses, and he's going to be already starting to rebuild some of his lost infrastructure there with those farms. This group is not going to be able to take this out. This guy one shot away from being dead, basically. Instead, he's going to get 4 shots in the chest, though, and go ahead and fall. Mordor does have, or Gimmesome does have additional units on the right-hand side, now pushing forward, trying to push back Mordor. Tons of horsemen out for the elves. It might be his only remaining unit producing structure besides his fortress right now, as I assume he's trying to rebuild. It looks like he does have his barracks up again, but I believe his green pasture was able to survive that, and it looks like he's actually getting up a well now. Does have some decent income going, finally has some Malnatrines back out. So the elves suddenly looking to be in a decent amount of spot. Gimmesome has managed to buy him some time to recover, and all of a sudden the elves looking to be in a good position. We do have a wall going up here. I'm not sure why. His build doesn't appear to be in any sort of danger, so it's not for that reason. Is he actually going to let this complete? I don't know what he's doing. But despite this wall going up here, Isengard now has Lurtz out up to level 2, is going to be in the fray, beginning to attack some of these archers here. And that's a great unit for... Looks like he is going to cancel that. I think he built that by mistake, possibly, as he does immediately cancel that wall as soon as it's finished building. He might have been trying to build something else, but accidentally built a wall instead. That does occasionally happen. It looks like most of Mordor's forces are going to be pushed back here, though, as Isengard does have a pretty decent-sized army. Let's go ahead and take a look at his base. Looks like he does have a couple of Uruk pits. 3 actually does have the furnace spell going on this, the industry spell going on this furnace in the back, so he's making a ton of money. 65, it looks like 66, something like that, from that furnace right now. So a great source of income right there, and that's of course giving him the ability to pump out so many units. Angmar able to sneak around the backside here, takes out a single slaughterhouse from Mordor, but that's just not going to be enough to deal any sort of lasting damage. I think he's going to lose his Thrallmaster here, and with that, the entire unit will go ahead and fall. Really, this should just cause them to flee instead of fall over dead, but looks like a ton of horsemen here. Only a couple of spearmen. They decide to go for it anyways. The archers in the back should be focusing the spearmen. Let the horsemen deal with the rest. I think the spearmen are actually dead now, though, so maybe the right choice here with the archers as he does begin to whittle down the remainder of these troops, and I think he only lost a single Malnatree here. Isengard just not doing any lasting damage. He does have some additional troops coming in from the left-hand side, but Mordor is on it. Gimmesome has a ton of troops following along. He sees what's happening. He's sending the reinforcements. He also has an additional force of about 3 units in the center here, pushing forward. Let's check on that siege workshop. I really want to know if he's upgraded this yet. Yes, he has. So he does have the ability to produce a catapult, and actually something is coming out now, although I didn't see it being produced, so that's kind of surprising. But it is going to be a catapult, so he does go into catapults. I think a great decision, especially with the sort of the lack of the larger units on the field for Angmar. Angmar is just sticking to this very low econ style. I say low econ, but I think he does have a decent amount of mills up around the map. It's just basically a unit spam style. It looks like Angmar, as well as Isengard, going to be able to clean up the rest of this in the center of the map here, as a couple of Mordor units survive, but that's really not going to be sufficient. And the green pasture here getting dangerously low. Is there actually enough pikemen in the back here to finish this off? It'd be really nice if he could get this. That would be a pretty big blow, as the green pasture is incredibly expensive, 600, and he does manage to get that. So I think that's a great pickup there for Isengard. I mean, Sure, he's sacrificing units to do it, but he has the income. He has the industry spell. Actually, let's check those spells. It looks like Kha only has the Rallying Call and the Heal. Oasis now has the War Chant as well as Fellwind. Gimmesome has the industry ability as well, going for the Eye of Sauron as well as the Tainted Land spell. So there's just a quick look at some of the spells these players are choosing to go with. Would like to see possibly Isengard work towards that Watcher, as he does only have 6 power points saved up right now, though. But the Watcher could be incredibly devastating against these Mordor troops, which is just a spam of lower tier units at this point. The Elf still has a decent amount of horsemen out on the field. I believe these are Rivendell Lancers. Yes, they are. And these can cause a decent amount of havoc, as they do have pretty fast speed and really good attack against buildings. So he actually will find a building on the bottom side here, and immediately Isengard player canceling that. Does not want to give those horsemen the ability to get up to level 2, of course, as they will begin regenning units at that point. Angmar and Isengard here going for a very harassment-heavy style tactics. Always going for those farms, always going for those buildings, refusing really to sort of fight the open battle, except on occasion when they're having to defend their base. Other than that, they're always going, it seems, for the infrastructure, for the farms, for the any buildings really, and avoiding those main fights if they can. It's a very hit and run style, and it's working out okay for them so far. However, Mordor is retaining so many of its units that I feel like they might be starting to be getting into a little bit of trouble. Finally, we have a hero out here for Angmar. I would like to see some more heroes out on the field, but Hwaldir does come out, and it looks like that frozen land bonus is going to go down as on top of Hwaldir's. I don't believe they stack on top of each other, so whichever one is better is going to be initiated. Hwaldir using a summoning ability there as well to get out some extra troops, but there's so many Mordor troops that these Angmar units are just getting completely surrounded. Is Hwaldir even still in here? I don't even see him. Looks like he had to fall back. Took a lot of damage. Did manage to get up to level 2, so that's decent. The catapult now moving in, going for, it looks like the buildings. Would think he should aim possibly for some of the troops first. Yes, now he does switch and begin attacking some of those. Does get a nice shot off there. 2 catapults, actually. Isengard coming in from the backside, though, with some pikemen. And all of a sudden, Mordor looking to be in a little bit of trouble here. The horsemen here trying to help out, but I think the catapults are going to die to these pikemen. The Uruk Berserkers in here, or the Deathbringers in here as well, and they just deal a ton of damage. The Deathbringers so powerful. As they grab a level there themselves, they are in defensive stance to go ahead and help them save a little bit of health. They just deal so much damage that it's basically okay to put them on defensive stance. And they just tear through this army. These Deathbringers, incredibly scary unit. Isengard pushing to the top as well. Looks like Mordor managed to sneak one unit around to the bottom here. Hwaldir is going to be working that down. They might actually get this. It's going to be really close, actually. Would be a great pickup, as this is actually a level 3 mine. So if they can get this, that would be huge, as he'd have to rebuild that at level 1, but they don't manage to get it, so a great save there by Oasis. And he is rebuilding a couple of additional farms, or mills, up towards the front. Lurtz moving forward here, going to be capitalizing on some open area farms as well as the Malentry. I don't know how these are built right next to each other. It's a little bit of a mistake, I believe, on the L's part there, on Kha60's. But he is going to be losing that and not canceling it. That's a little bit of a mistake too, as Lurtz is in here, so he's going to get a little bit of experience from that, or maybe not. As he does start to run to the south, they are going to capture the watchtower here, or destroy the watchtower rather. And these Mordor troops going to be in a lot of trouble, as the Deathbringers here as well. I mean, there's just no way. And now Angmar moving up to the north side. Mordor looking to be in a little bit of trouble. He's just stuck on these lower tier units. He really needs to go up to some higher tier units. Trolls, maybe not Momokil, maybe the Black Riders, Nazgul, Mouth of Sauron, anything. But it's just this constant lower unit spam here from Mordor. And I'm starting to feel a little bit worried here for Gimmesome, because he just is refusing to go up to higher tier units. Now, Isengard, on the other hand, has done that. Isengard has lurked out. They have the Earth Deathbringers. They have the Berserkers as well. The arrow drop goes down, though. That's going to be a pretty good arrow drop and take out a decent amount of truth. The Deathbringers are able to survive it. Lurt's able to survive it as well, of course. And these Deathbringers still alive. These Horsemen finally going to be taking a lot of damage, and only 2 of them survive. Suddenly the Elves looking to be in a ton of trouble. Eggmar moving out from the south as well. The Elves not going for those higher tier units either. This has just been a very low tier unit game. Of course, you can't blame the Elves too much because he's been on such a low economy the entire game. But those Mirkwood Archers would have been incredibly helpful. I mean, there's been... Oh, finally we see a Nazgul coming out here as he gets a great hit off. Did he just kill 1 or 2 units there? Lurtz is in his Carnage mode right now, so he can't switch back to go ahead and single out the Nazgul. And I think this fortress is going to be okay, even with the Deathbringers here. Actually, did they fall back? I'm not sure exactly what happened to them. Nazgul might have taken them out. But I think the Elves are going to be able to hold on here. We do finally have the Nazgul out, so that's a really good unit to see. We do have that Watcher out for Isengard now. But we do have the Rock Drop now available as well for Mordor. And I would love to see him use that Rock Drop right here, completely cripple the production of Eggmar. Of course, this is one of the bad parts of putting all of your buildings together here. We will go ahead and see what he wants to use that Rock Drop on. But the Watcher has been used, I believe, from Isengard. Yes, he does. He's already up to additional 8 power points, though. So getting close. Might want to be saving up for that 25. We will see. The Catapults here are able to deal with the remaining Watcher, as they will go ahead and sink back into the depths. Would love to see a Rock Drop right here. I think that would be a critical blow to Eggmar. Eggmar just sticking on those lower tier units as well, not going up to that Wolf and Troll den. Would like to have seen that. Actually, he loses, looks like more attacks from Mordor did actually end up causing the backside of that farm to go ahead and lose, or it might have even been the Horsemen from the Elves here, as that Catapult actually takes out that building there. Nice move. I'm not sure why he's not using that Rock Drop. He needs to use this right away. He might be saving it for a huge, you know, for a bunch of units to drop it on. But I think right now what he needs to do is go for the kill. The Catapult's beginning to work down the fortress. I mean, it's not a ton of damage, but it's not negligible either, as he's going to start to build up its fortress here. He might be trying to get this to half health and then sort of drop the Rock Drop on it that way. Looks like there was a small attack here from Eggmar, but that's going to be easily held off by the forces at home. Meanwhile, the Elves looking to be in a little bit of trouble. I mean, they have these Horsemen out. These are still the same Horsemen as before. They're just using this fountain to regen. So cost efficient. But it's not the units he needs to save his base right now. We do have the Rock Drop going down. Did use it on, tried to get the fortress and that Wolf or the Wolf extension rather. Did deal a decent amount of damage. Didn't take out all the barracks though, and I'm not sure that was exactly the right move. As all of a sudden the Elves looking to be in a ton of trouble. He's going to lose his fortress there to these fully upgraded this fully upgraded Isengard, and I really think this speaks volumes to what happens when you upgrade your force. Even with only a couple of units, I mean, he's got maybe 3 or 4 units here, but they're upgraded and they just deal so much damage, especially with that hero in there. It's just so destructive. Mordor we've only seen go for the 1 Nazgul. And the Elves, we didn't actually see him go for any heroes. I mean, again, he's been on low econ, but, I mean, you just have to squeeze out the heroes. They just do so much damage. They're so efficient. Mordor now beginning to take down this fortress. We do finally have Mouth of Sauron out. It looks like he's already up to level 4. Maybe he's been out for a little while. Or just got some decent kills here. But he is going to go ahead and gallop in place there for a little bit. As I think this fortress is in a little bit of trouble here. The Elves surrounding the backside. The Elves do have a couple of troops left, and they're basically going for a all-in strategy here. I mean, the Elves just abandoning their base and charging their opponent. And we do have a beacon going down. I think to beacon that this is the last builder for Eggmar, or that they have found a builder for Eggmar. And if they can kill this builder as he spawns, he is right there. If they can get off a hit on that builder, that's going to be an incredible pickup, as then Eggmar will only have these 2 buildings, I believe. The builder not moving. Mouth of Sauron gets the final kill. So the builder goes down. Does Eggmar have another building? builder? That is the question, because the answer, or because elves do have an additional builder, and of course you can gift money to your opponent. So theoretically, the elves could go ahead and have their base rebuilt if Mordor goes ahead and gives them enough money here. And all of a sudden, Angmar looking to be in a ton of trouble, and Oasis is defeated. They take out the final building there. The forces of Isengard showing up too late, and all of a sudden it is a 2v1. I thought the top team was in a ton of trouble when that Elves Fortress went down, but they're able to come back with the rock drop, with the prolonged attack here from Mordor, and all of a sudden it's a 2 versus 1, as it is now up to purely Isengard to pieces 1 to go ahead and stomp out 2 opponents. I mean, he's basically taken out the elves, but not completely. The elves do have this additional barracks up in the top left. Where is there a builder? It looks like this is not a elves builder. This is a mortar builder, and actually the mortar unit's going to be able to find this builder here, so that's going to be a really nice pickup. Whenever you can get a builder that's so effective, as of course it's a 500 cost unit, as well as cancels out any future buildings, as well as that can delay income and so on and so forth. I mean, it just goes on and on. And looks like they are going to get another builder here. This builder out in the map. So that's both builders from Mordor, and all of a sudden, from Isengard. And the elves still have troops alive. I mean, one thing I have to say about this elves player, piece 1, he's been very cost effective with these troops, especially those horsemen. He saved those for a terribly long time, and suddenly Mordor looking to be in a much better spot. Isengard just doesn't have... I mean, they have these upgraded troops here, but it's just not going to be enough against the range power of these catapults as they begin to fire on them from afar. And looks like Mordor are going to be moving into the south as well, beginning to work on some of those barracks. One volley takes down the Uruk pit there, and this is a fully upgraded one. He does not want to lose this if he can help it. But the elves troops here, as well as Mouth of Sauron, going to begin to work this down. And I don't know if Isengard has enough here to defend. I mean, he's desperately trying to throw down the or to throw up some towers, the tower extensions here. But what does he have in terms of power points? It looks like he's at 15. He needs 25. He needs to cut the production of Mordor with like a Dragon Strike or something. I mean, right here is just going to devastate the production of Mordor temporarily. But the Haradrim Palace now up as well. Of course, it's been up for a while, fully upgraded. That's how he did manage to get those upgrades out. And I really think, now that I think about it, that these Fire Era upgrades have been a huge part of this game, as they allowed him... as soon as he upgraded, I think he was able to do a ton more damage down in the bottom left, and began to turn this game back around in favor of his team. Now, is Peace rebuilding his base? I don't see that he is, but I'm not sure it's going to matter, because on the bottom right-hand side here, it looks like most of the troops from Mordor have been taken out. Isengard able to stabilize temporarily, but he lost one of his barracks and a couple of his farms. Now, he does have 2 barracks remaining, but is it enough to produce the amount of units that he's going to need in order to deal with this entire force from Mordor, which is currently trying to deal with a couple of rogue upgraded units here in the back? I don't even think they're going to be able to get this slaughterhouse, as Mordor units should be able to take that down quite easily. And elves now the elves upgrade, as he does begin to upgrade that barracks there to go for those higher tier units. Elves has a couple more units out on the field. Mordor regenning his archers by the pool here. Isengard actually going for a couple of the creeps on the map, I guess, to try and get some additional gold, to try and get some additional levels. But the future looks grim, I feel like, for Isengard here, as it is still, I mean, it will be for the remainder of the game a 2v1, unless he can manage to take out one of the enemy players, which I just don't think seems possible at this point. I mean, it is Isengard. Isengard does have great late game. He does have a level 10 alert, so that is something. But is it enough? I feel like the answer is no, as these forces continue to just stream across the map. Something actually smart maybe would be to take over this outpost, go ahead and begin rebuilding that to gain the additional income, as Isengard just has no map presence right now. I mean, it looks like he's you know, clearing a couple of slaughterhouses to the bottom side. But one Gorgonoth Spire, and this force is dead. Actually, has he upgraded to the Gorgonoth Spire? No, he has not. Looks like he's putting that off, and instead he's just going for the kill. I mean, he sees this unit coming, but I think he feels he has enough at home. There's enough firepower there to actually hold this off, and instead he just wants to go for the kill. I mean, there's a ton of fire, or there's a decent amount of fire archers in this army, and they're going to be able to take down some of these buildings so quickly. The pikemen on the left-hand side, I mean, they're just getting ripped to shreds. Even with the upgraded armor, there's just no way they can deal with this much firepower. It looks like another unit of Isengard going to fall. Additional fire archers showing up. Isengard is basically just spamming wall hubs right now to try and save his builder. But the catapult there misses. Lightning strike goes down on the lightning strike goes down on the catapults, but the Balrog comes in for Mordor and using that, I believe that was Enrage, what's it called? Ignite, to do that additional 200% damage, as this Balrog is just going to rip to shreds the remainder of this army. The last effort of Isengard attacking here from the front. It looks like he was able to actually got a Dragon Strike off there. That dragon might actually die too. I'm not going to continue watching him, but might actually be able to take out this fortress. Is this going to be a base race at this point? That is the question. The Balrog continuing to deal damage to this fortress takes out an additional tower. I think there's enough damage here from Mordor. Yeah, there really should be with the Balrog to go ahead and take out this fortress. But can the same be said for Isengard? The answer is actually yes, as he's going to begin. He actually manages to get off the kill on that fortress. And I realize now that Isengard was going for those farms in the bottom left to go ahead, so to get up the power points to use the Dragon Strike. The fortress is going to be worked down here. It needs to use the whip on the Balrog. That is a little bit stronger of an attack than, of course, the sword. The Watcher goes down as well, as he does still have his fortress alive, so he can use his power points. The Watcher comes up. There's the whip attack on the fortress, as it does continue to lose some health there. I don't know if he's actually going to get it, though. This Balrog is going to time out any second here. The Fire Archer is actually able to take out the Watcher, though. And Isengard's continuing to attack to the top left. Is he actually going to be able to eliminate the players here? Does Mordor have an additional building around the map? I don't think so, but does Isengard have an additional building around the map? I know he had an additional builder over here somewhere. I don't know where it's met. Yes, he does have an additional building. So Isengard should be safe, even if he loses this base, which he is going to lose here any moment. But he's taken out a ton of buildings in the top left. Isengard going for the base trade here. I cannot believe this game has evolved to this, and this just goes to show you the power of these upgraded troops. So devastating here. And Lurtz is still alive as well. The fortress finally falls for Isengard, but he has not been eliminated from the game. Both these buildings going to go down. Mordor is not eliminated. Neither is our Elves player, Piece 1, as they do have additional buildings. Looks like we do have a fortress going down for Mordor and an additional barracks as well. He is going to be pulling back his troops now, but he spotted perhaps the final building of Isengard. Does Isengard have any additional buildings on the map? I don't know. We're about to find out, though, as this building will fall, and Isengard is not eliminated. So Isengard has snuck. I don't know where his builder is, as it's not showing up on the map right now. This is a Mordor structure. I'm trying to find where those remaining buildings are. It looks like there's one here. Here's the builder for Isengard. How much money does Isengard have? He actually has 2,000 gold, so he should be just fine for now. Unless, of course, he loses this very quickly. In which case, he does not, I don't believe, have an additional building. Here's the final building for the Elves. He's trying to get out some Mirkwood archers. And where did that builder go? Looks like he's building another barracks here. So Isengard at this point just trying to spam barracks, try and survive long enough to find his opponent's bases. This has been an incredibly close and well action-packed game here. Mordor's fortress is almost complete. Once that fortress is complete, he is going to go ahead and regain those powers. That does include the Rock Barrage, the Furnace, the War Chant. All of those are going to be available to him, as well as he's almost up to an additional 15 power if he wants to use it. Could, of course, go for a 10 power as well, though. Isengard moving in from the left doesn't have a ton of troops left is the problem. Going to be able to take out these Mirkwood archers. Don't want to lose these as they're quite an expensive unit, and one of the remaining only remaining units for elves. Looks like he has gone ahead and found the fortress. The fortress now up. Let's check which powers are available to him. Rock Barrage, very close. The Tainted Land bonus available as well, and does have enough money to go ahead and begin spamming a couple of towers there on the fortress. And Isengard suddenly going to be in a lot of trouble. Balthasar demounts, is going to be engaging in this battle, but Lurtz goes ahead and grabs him. Needs to use Descent. He just leveled up. Needs to use Descent. Does manage to get it off, so these units will begin attacking themselves. Great play there. Lurtz going to begin working down Balthasar. Uses that Carnage ability. Needs to turn around and stop running in place. This is not a cardio exercise, Lurtz. You need to begin chopping down Balthasar, and he is going to kill him here. This fortress in a lot of damage. The additional units of Mordor are beginning to find these additional buildings. Does he see? Looks like he actually got that one, and I don't know what buildings are left for Isengard here, but he's going to have to fall back. Did he lose his hero? If he lost his hero, I mean, it's over. He didn't. He does have Lurtz as well, able to take out the building of the elves here. What does the elves have left? I don't know. Balthasar, these units are desperately trying to find the remaining buildings. Here is one. How much money does he have? Mordor down to 1,200. Isengard still has a ton of money, 2,700. The elves actually have a decent amount of money as well, but he's going to find this this barracks, and this might be the last one. It's really hard to say. I cannot tell where his remaining buildings are, and it looks like he is going to get that one. That might be it. It is not, as Isengard continues to survive, although at this point, I think that Isengard, looks like here's one of his remaining buildings. I think Isengard is in a lot of trouble now. He's lost most of his upgraded units. I mean, sure, he was able to deal some damage to the front here of Mordor, actually spending that power on the barricade. But Rock Drop is going to be up soon. Actually, it's up now. So we can Rock Drop the enemy, really, the enemy builder as soon as he sees him, because there's really only one builder left for Mordor. And actually, this is actually a builder for Gimmesome here. So he does spot this. He should have this in view right now. So he should realize that that is there. Lurtz moving up with a force here. Going to begin working on that builder. Doesn't get him quite in time. Needs to target down this slaughterhouse. And I think he will go ahead and finish that off. But he's given away his position. I mean, sure, the builder's going to fall. But big Rube. And there goes the Rock Drop on this building. Where's the builder? He ran off to the bottom left. He has started to rebuild an additional barracks, but the victory here is going to go to Gimmesome, and his ally, who managed to survive the entire match through just amazing, well, not amazing, but just crazy luck, and I guess some skillful play, saving a builder, building in his ally's base, a smart move. Something not all players are always aware of or remember to do is you get pretty focused in the game and can sometimes forget to put those buildings down in time. But with the resources coming in here for his opponents, Flash 1 is going to go ahead and I think tap out of this game pretty soon. I mean, what does he have? Basically nothing. I mean, he's building 2 barracks in the bottom left. As he is pretty much finished. The ring actually available over here to be grabbed, but I mean, he's not even going to waste APM on it, actions per minute, and instead he's just going to be rebuilding his base, getting up some, probably should get out some Nazgul, as that can be pretty effective in dealing with hidden buildings, as it has an incredible view range. And yet Piece 1 is just going to go ahead and realize he is finished, and GG's out of the game. Guys, thanks for tuning in. This has been a very interesting cast, very interesting game, and exciting cast, I should say. Exciting cast, interesting game, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please stay tuned. I will be coming out with some more replays here in the near future. Master Cloud signing out.